Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This time we have Joe Biden up against Senator Tim Scott of the state of South Carolina. So overall, I don't think Tim Scott would be a good candidate. He's very monotone. He's just a very boring type of candidate. And plus, I do think he's too conservative on some issues, which would honestly really hurt him in the Rust Belt. He's not really a populist candidate by any means, so he isn't like Trump in that way. I do think he would definitely underperform Trump in the Rust Belt considerably, while probably doing better than him in the southern states, because that's one benefit out of a Tim Scott candidacy. But we'll start off with some of the safer states. So Alaska, actually, based on the issues, I don't really think Tim Scott would do amazing in Alaska. I think he could underperform here and only win it by a likely margin, probably around 9 to, or even at 8 points, so 8 to 9 point victory for Tim Scott there. But yeah, let's start with let's see. We'll go with Texas and Florida. They'll be both likely red states. I think Tim Scott could do a bit better than Trump in both these states, just because he wouldn't be seen as so toxic among independent voters here. In Colorado, New Mexico, don't really think Tim Scott has the best Sunbelt appeal, especially with Latino voters, so I don't really think New Mexico becomes that competitive. Colorado, it's just getting more and more blue. In New England, I don't think he would be the best candidate either. I think he could very underperform in Maine, even losing Maine second to Joe Biden, which is pretty hard to do. It's a Trump plus 6 district, and not doing so well in New Hampshire as well. Well, let's see here, these next few states. In Iowa, I still think he wins it by a likely margin over. It almost goes lean in this scenario, and Biden also wins Nebraska second here against Tim Scott. He isn't really the best Republican there. In Nevada and Arizona, again, I just don't think Tim Scott's moderate enough to win both of these states. I think both these states still go towards Joe Biden. In North Carolina and Georgia, these are two of the states I could see him doing a bit better than Donald Trump. I don't really think him being so economically conservative hurts him in both these states, but I do think he could narrowly flip Georgia against Joe Biden. But in the Rust Belt, I don't think he does that well in Minnesota. I really don't think he does well in Michigan. I think he loses it just by about 6 points, or even 7 points, honestly, because there's some issues he's so economically conservative on. He's very pro-free trade, which honestly populist voters hate. In the Rust Belt, they want you to be protectionist. He is weirdly super against abortion, which honestly would hurt him in the Rust Belt states like we saw last time with Pennsylvania. So honestly, I don't even think he would do that well in Pennsylvania either, losing both these states by a likely margin. He would also lose Wisconsin just because of how not populist he is on the issues. And these last two states, Virginia, could see going to Biden by a likely margin, while Tim Scott wins Ohio by a lean margin. So 280 to 250. I think Tim Scott definitely underperforms in the Rust Belt, too economically conservative, but he still does a bit better than Trump in the states like Texas, Georgia, and North Carolina, probably matching his performance in Florida. Overall, Biden would probably win the popular vote by about 3 to 4 points against Tim Scott, I would say. So I'll see you guys in the next video.